Hello, congratulations. How's it been for you being at Comic-Con?
It's been great. This is my first time at the San Diego Comic Con, and it's been a great experience. Fans are really excited about the movie, so it's fun.
And how was the panel? What was that experience like for you seeing all of those people there?
It was fantastic. It's really it's such an honor that people come there and they want to learn more about the movie and they're excited about it coming out and everything like that. It's just I feel like I'm the luckiest person on earth to first of all be able to do this and then have people want to see it.
I mean, living the dream, being a movie director. So for you, what was the challenge and what excited you about making Strangers chapters 1, 2, and 3 consecutively together?
The challenge was that I was taking a really beloved movie that also I'm a huge fan of, the Brian Bertino original, and in essence remaking it and expanding on it. And the reward of it was that I could take a movie that I really admired and not just remake it, but expand it into a 4.5 hour epic that is then broken into 3 chapters. And it's such a unique, rare opportunity. I can't even think of any other movie that has done that, where we are able to explore the central character now in these 3 chapters and see how she's affected and how she changes in the course of this story, and then also expand on the strangers and give them backstories and expand on that as well. So big challenge, just physically making 3 movies at the same time, but great reward in having the opportunity to do something like that.
And what was it like for you directing Madeline? I know she's also a producer on this. What makes her stand out to you as one of the final girls out in horror?
Well, it's really a combination of her talent, her feeling like a girl next door, her intellect, her quick wit, humor, being able to be vulnerable and extremely strong at the same time, and just being mentally and physically capable of doing something like this, because we really put her through the ringer with all the 3 movies. They just get more and more physical as they continue, and she was covered in bruises and cuts during this movie, but she never complained.
So, I mean, honestly, good for her, and that's like great to know that she was like game for anything that you threw her way. For you with chapter 2, what makes this such an essential part of this trilogy? What do we see? What can you preview that Maya is going to go through?
Well, first of all, if the first movie was a home invasion movie, I would call this a town invasion movie, where we expand the environment to the town of Venus and the surrounding areas. And the scary thing is that now all that Maya wants to do is get out of town, get out of Dodge, but she's not able to. She's just not able to get out of there. So it still has the sense of claustrophobia and this invasion of her life, even if we are not in a cabin anymore. And it just, for me as a director, it just offered such an epic canvas to be, in a way, like it's almost like I would say the second movie is kind of like Rambo, the first Rambo movie. It's like it's a big survival thriller.
Okay, so everyone's been really hush about when I ask this question, but I'm going to try anyways with you. What's a sequence that you're excited for fans to see, and what was a sequence that when you saw it on paper, you're like, how are we going to make this come to life?
There is a huge sequence in the movie. There are a lot of huge sequences, but there's a huge sequence that involves Maya and other things. And it's epic, it's scary, it's very surprising. It's something that the audience will never in their wildest dreams expect. Even if we gave them thousand guesses and we said, you get $1 million if within 1,000 guesses you guess what's going to happen, you would never guess. So that's what I'm excited about, showing that to the audience and seeing how they react to it.
Well, last question for you. I know that you directed Die Hard 2. With everything that's going on with Bruce Willis, do you have a memory that you can share about your time directing him for Die Hard 2?
Oh, I have so many memories. my memory, maybe one of the sweet memories was when I went for Christmas to Finland, and then I picked his daughters were just tiny little toddlers at that point, and then I picked these reindeer shoes for them from Finland, and then I brought them to Bruce and Demi when I got back, and how his eyes lit up, and because he loved his daughters, of course, so much. And his eyes really lit up when he realized that his director had gone out of his way to bring something for his daughters, and that's what I remember about him, being a family man.
That's so sweet. Thank you so much, and congratulations on everything.
Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Meredith from the Mary Sue. Nice to meet you, Courtney.
Mary Sue, nice to meet you.
Congratulations. Welcome to Comic-Con. How has the experience been for you so far?
I mean, it's great, except that I got off a plane from England yesterday, so I'm in sleepy time right now. But other than that, I love Comic-Con. It's my 4th or 5th Comic-Con, literally, and I love it. And even before I was making movies, I would come down here and just sort of hang out. So I mean, I love Comic-Con. This is my happy place.
Yeah, I'm sure the people watching has been great.
I haven't done much of that yet because we've been just doing this all day, but as soon as we're done with this, I'm going to go do a little people watching, and I'm actually staying overnight so I can go just be a person that just enjoys Comic-Con tomorrow. Yeah.
Now, so approaching Chapter 2, I know you filmed these back to back. For you, what makes the middle chapter special for these 3 films?
I think the middle chapter is really, an essential bridge to cross, and to see whether our character can cross that bridge, and to see what our character has learned from Chapter 1 and who our character starts becoming during Chapter 2. The one goal we set out to do, and I believe by the time you get to end of Chapter 3, everybody will say, they actually did that, was to present a final girl in a different way. So the final girl that we're used to seeing, by the end of Act 1 of a movie or whatever, she's already holding both of Thor's hammers and smashing people's heads in. But we wanted this to be real, if a real person had what happened in Chapter 1 happen to them, okay? Even if you were standing there and somebody was standing there with an axe and they were going to kill you, would you have the peace of mind or even the guts to pick up a knife and kill somebody? I think the answer from most people is no, which is why they become victims, right? That's the truth. Horror fans are I would have picked up the knife, then I would have taken the scissors, and then I would have cut the nose off, and and I'm a horror fan, so I get it. But in ours, we wanted to say, okay, so let's imagine this happened, but she got stuck in this place, okay, which is what happens in Chapter 2. And she's doing everything she can to get the hell out of this place, but now she has knowledge. She's no longer just a victim like she was in movie 1, sort of helpless victim. Now she knows what she's up against, right? So she's much smarter, she's much more cautious, she's even fighting back, and a lot of interesting things happen. Also, she's sort of caught, for part of this movie, in the environment around this town. So she's fighting not just the strangers, but the environments as well, and the elements as well, right? And she's been stabbed, and she's, so she's got a lot of things going against her. But in the end, during that stuff, it starts to shape and get the final girl, back to what I was saying, to the point where the final girl really psychologically goes to a different place, right? And it's not the place you think naturally. She runs back and kills everybody. That's not what this is. That's not what we did, right? We went a little further than that. And we actually, you'll find, in a weird way, interconnected the relationship between Maya and the strangers, right? So it gets there's a whole psychological aspect to it that plays out as well. And by the time you get to the end of 3, you're just looking at somebody that's a ghost of the person you met at the beginning of Chapter 1. So it plays as realistically as it possibly could. And she really, Madeleine, just made that arc and transition completely smooth and believable throughout the 3 chapters. And all I say is, like, chapter 1, great, it's the setup, right? It's act 1 of a movie. To understand the whole trilogy, you have to watch the 3 movies, because it's like, watching a great season on Netflix. Like, you watch the beginning, but if you miss the end, what the hell? Yeah.
So for you, from a producer's perspective, what stands out to you about Madeline as your final girl for The Stranger?
Well, one is that she's like a demented horror lover, so that's the starting point of that whole thing. So she loves horror, and Strangers was actually like her favorite movie, right? So, but just literally, I just said it on the panel. She had me at hello on our first Zoom. She for the first 5 minutes of that Zoom interviewed us, right? Which is not usually how that dynamic works, because we're the ones doing the hiring, but that's how it worked. And she had 22 pages of notes of what she wanted to do, written down in a book, and started flipping through it and showing us 5 minutes into the Zoom. And the instinct proved out, right? Like, I call her what I call a 950 hitter in baseball. Literally, when she comes out, she'll hit it out of the park any take, 9 times out of 10. And that's a rarity. She's true talent.
Okay, so what is the sequence you are looking forward for fans to see, and what sequence from a logistical standpoint was kind of a nightmare when you looked at it on paper? Like, how are we going to do this?
I can't talk about that sequence. So what I will say to you is, so I read all the stuff online, right? I had to. So for this one, I had to. It was painful. I did it. Okay, but anyway, all I'm gonna.
Tough skin, sir.
Thank you. But here you go. Like, so I read all the stuff online, and so people said, well, I guess is everything in the trailer like it was in the first movie? Hell no. The directive, the insistence with the studio this time was, you are not allowed to show this, or this, and you're never going to show it until people go to the movie theater so they can enjoy the movie. Because by showing it, you ruin it. Okay? So all I can tell you is there's a sequence that was extremely tough to shoot. It's super cool. It turned out really great if you're just asking about one. But we haven't shown you even one frame of it in any of the materials, nor will you see one frame of it before the movie comes out.
So it's so intriguing. I can't wait.
It's good to have things to look forward to.
It's part of the movie experience of going to a theater. So,
by the way, I personally, as like a fan of other movies and stuff, because I watch everything, when a trailer comes out and like shows me the whole movie, I'm just sort of like, oh, come on, like, literally, don't put me in doing that. But anyway, so you will. But like, so, I get it. And look, we really read, absorbed, and I don't know if you know, but we did enhancement shoots on both movie 2 and 3. They came from what we learned from the fans after movie 1. So, interestingly, because of the way we did this by shooting all 3 in the first place, is it became sort of like a weird interactive experience between the two of us, in a good way, because there were certain things that we were like, we should do that. And we should take it there. And we should honor it like this as examples. And that's what we did.
Well, last question for you. What makes you excited about horror right now during this decade or even the past 5 years?
One, that like the genre is like, and not even like Marvel movies and event movies are working all the time now, as we both know. But this genre, finally, like, is strong and consistent, right? It has, I think, the voice that all of us that have loved horror, and I've done it, as you know, since the beginning of my career, and been involved in so many horror movies over the years. I feel like we're getting a bit of the credibility that we deserve. And so that excites me about it. And I love when something new and fresh shows up. And I feel like we're seeing some good, new, and fresh offerings, and then we're seeing, other stuff. But whatever it is, I don't throw stones at anybody, because making a movie is a hard-ass thing to do, right? It just literally is. I would say, like, to a movie critic, I'd like to do a reality show, right? And take 10 movie critics and put them on a set, and each of them has to produce something for 10 minutes. And let's all criticize what that looks like. Just to give you some appreciation when you're going ranting about something, like, it's our thing. So when I see movies that maybe didn't work in the genre, I'm like, yeah, but they worked hard on it, and I get it, and whatever. It just didn't click. And sure, it wasn't my favorite. And fair enough. Everybody's entitled to an opinion, but, that's it. So I'm really happy with where the genre is going. We've got one or two other things that we're putting together right now for new stuff, and I just love it. And I've had a great time doing this, 3 movies in these 3 chapters. And I'm really excited for people to see, like, where it's going and where it goes, right? Because in all that reading, all the people, it's going to be this, so that means this. Nobody figured it out yet. That much I can tell you for sure. Coming from the horse's mouth, I haven't read it in one place. So far, so good. We'll see if they figure it out after 2. Right.
Yes.
Audiences, they can be smart. I'm sure they will figure it out.
Oh, I think the audience is smart. No. I think the audience is smart. But if we're clever, we throw you a loop that you didn't expect to see coming, and that makes it even more fun and more satisfying as an audience. So I think what we did, it's legit, it's true, but it's like, oh shit, really? Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's the strangers, right?
Sue.
They're all
Mary Sue,
terrifying.
yeah.
Maya has every reason, every
It's
single one of them.
online magazine based out of New York. Most of it is female, non-binary perspectives on film and television.